time here thinking about what to ban before heading into that next big phase. They do ban a Bloodseeker. Pango is still up for grabs. You gotta wonder if that is one that they have been eyeing up again, and they will indeed pick it up.
Like I mentioned, just heavily enabled by Grimstroke for obvious reasons. Having the Inkswell to add it on just makes it that much of a stronger hero. And even though the Pango lost in the last game, it still looked really good. It still had an incredible game. So there's no reason for Gaimin to not run it back.
Yeah, I remember, this gives me flashbacks of TI8 OG Game 5. When you look at that draft, it was just, what's your favorite hero? What's your favorite hero? We're just going to pick that. And this is the vibes I'm getting from this Pangolier pick. Yes, he's obviously played it a lot throughout this tournament, but at the end of the day, take your signatures. You'd hate to go out on anything other than your absolute best.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering already for Jure if later down the line, 18 pick, Faceless Void, it's be like one of the reasons they came back in this series. They're gonna go with the SD Centaur one more time. I mean, Faceless Void was their 4th pick with the exact same draft earlier. If you're gaming Gladiators, I believe you need to be ready for that.
The SD Centaur looked really good, but also it was because the SD plus Phoenix were able to play around XM Storm Spirit.
Yeah.
That much better. So I think Azure do have to run back that ranged mid laner that goes in first kind of archetype to take advantage of the defensive capabilities of these two supports.
Oh, they steal it. They steal it. No Faceless Void for low this game round. And then the question comes, that Storm Spirit that you're talking about, is it valuable enough to pick up before the next big phase, or the next ban phase rather?
Yeah, because Azure Ray have first pick, and if they're eyeing the Storm Spirit, picking it on 18 and extending 2 bans to protect it is perfectly fine. I love this Faceless Void pickup from Gaming Gladiators. Not only did they take it away from Azure Ray, who looked so good on it, it is a secondary jump hero to go on this Phoenix, to go on the Shadow Demon. The primary thing about Shadow Demon is you have to control this hero. You have to get on top of this hero. And Faceless Void is one of the better carries in Dota that can do it.
Also, there isn't too much burst damage, which I feel like is the one downfall of Void. SD, low damage. Same with Phoenix, takes a long time. Can time walk in and out. And yeah, I feel this was a crucial pick. And this is the beauty of like BO5s and long tournaments. You're going to see these mind games and kind of specific things come up because, yeah, they needed to steal the Faceless Void exactly on the spot.
So they do go back for the Gyrocopter. A little bit of anti-synergy with the Void in the sense that his rocket dies in the Chronosphere. But aside from that, he has the call down, which you can actually hit 2 of them if you place it correctly. 2 of the missiles on a stationary target. They have a bit of overlap. And what I'm just going to say about this Faceless Void pick is I like it for what Gaimin's doing, but it's not very good for Centaur in terms of the laning state.
Yeah.
And it's not very good versus Naga in terms of the game itself. The only answer they really have to Naga right now is Quinn's Pango. And I guess I just feel like Azure Ray has a lot in the tank. Like, they don't necessarily have burst damage, but they have ways of drawing out fights. They have ways of kiting you back, disengaging and re-engaging. They're definitely going to pick some mobile hero in the mid lane for XM. And when you're looking at Chronosphere as your main tool for getting all of the kills that you want, and then you put Naga in the equation, I think there's a lot of weight on Ace's shoulders in this last pick to create like map pressure in some way. Like an Underlord would have been great. Sand King, I actually would love to see. It's a hero that's kind of crept up in win rate because of the Veil. These are great options against the Naga because you have to shut her down on the map.
I mean, I love this Naga pick. Like Naga versus Void. Naga also in decisive games. I feel like she always comes back. She's so annoying to play against. If they can cover it nicely, I think Gaimin need to be looking at a hero like, you mentioned the Sand King. I think other ones that come to mind. Timber, okay, already banned. I think Darkseer, perhaps like a pipe buyer that helps your map, also shells up your Pango, shells up your Void. Could be very scary. And at the same time, Azure, they need a hero that will then abuse this map play, right? Naga will push out the waves. You need another jumper for XM.
Like you said, Naga in decisive games, she makes these games so hard because she plays the entire map. She's always split pushing these lanes. She's farming everything. And once all the lanes are pushed out on the enemy side, it makes it harder for your team to go out and smoke and find these plays that you need to do to win the game. Outside of that, you have the Song of the Siren to disengage from the Chronosphere. And Naga is a great hero versus both Grimstroke and Gyrocopter. These supports do not threaten Naga at all in that mid game.
How crazy would Ember Spirit be here? I know we haven't seen it yet, but it's a decent Storm Spirit replacement. It's pretty unkillable by the game and heroes thus far. I'm just thinking of like some mobile guy that's going to enable the Shadow Demon and the Phoenix to do what you were talking about earlier, Mira.
I don't hate the idea. I only worry about the Inkswell on top of the Phantom's Embrace for something like an Ember Spirit. It's always been hard for Ember Spirit to play into Grimstroke. +1, not by itself.
I think Ember, if you really feel it, you can make it work. There's still, I mean, I'm probably a bit biased about this combo with Naga, DK. You are playing into a lot of magical damage. I do understand that. They will ban out the Sanking. Nice call, Brian. But overall, like, I think DK could work because you have a lot of people behind you. Like Song later with the shard is very good for high HP heroes. You have the Sun Ray as well. You have the disruptions. But we'll have to see what XM is cooking here.
What about Wind Ranger? It feels like a relatively safe pick outside of potentially getting chronoed as the game progresses.
It would give them the damage that they are lacking. I think Naga, even though she's going to kite the fight out for you, you do need somebody to eventually finish off these targets, and that would be a good option.
And another option is Queen of Pain, but it didn't look so hot when they ran that Queen of Pain into the Pangolier.
I could see, maybe I'm thinking too defensive, like somehow DKs and Kunkas are coming to my mind. Maybe they need this like more like snappy type of jump, but I can't really see it.
Well, they've got a full minute to think about what they want to do here. I mean, this is something that I would imagine a lot of teams have struggled with. What are you going to play mid against Pango? And then that also needs to fit into the rest of your draft. First timer.
That's damage.
Devourer.
Okay.
Okay, so talk to me about this. Obviously, it gives a save in the Chronosphere if you're not chronoed yourself. They now have 2 saves.
3 saves.
3 saves. There, that is actually a lot of
Phoenix
saves.
goes Ags and Centaur goes Ags, they have 5 saves.
do we like this? I see Kazu not convinced.
I don't know, because this hero is not easy to make work. I do feel it's very high up in the, the volatility range. But if you can get through this early and make him together, it will be it's a very feast or famine pick, I feel like.
Think about it, Kazu. All the offlaners you like against Naga are bad against OD. That's why I actually like this pick a lot, if you think about it. It's all the melee guys that go like Vanguard or Veil, and they just want to tank up. And OD's a hero that you just can't tank up against. There's no such thing as surviving the damage of his right clicks.
That's actually a great point. That's probably what they were thinking about here, because they did want a ranged mid laner to take advantage of the defensive capabilities of its supports. But now that you put it in that kind of phrasing, it does make a lot of sense. The thing about OD is such a 50-50 hero. Even in games that have looked like great OD games in these last few months, that hero has looked appalling. It's just make or break. You have to be able to play around this OD. You have to be able to respond to the aggression that comes to this OD. And if you can protect it for long enough to get strong, it does look like a very good hero.
So that's an overall Beastmaster pick coming out for Ace. Brian, that's one of Ace's best heroes.
It creates the map pressure I was hoping for, but they do have, a lot of Beastmaster is using his Boars and Hawks as like a deterrent that you have to walk through with the slows and the roots. And the Centaur ulti allows them on the side of Azure, I think, to penetrate these defenses. And the Chronosphere punish might be enough, but I'm just really thinking that there might be this point in the game where Azure is so tanky that even the Chronosphere is not going to be enough to dissuade them.
I feel like these mid-game fights are going to be super crucial, because Azure's lineup will break the moment one of their defensive or supportive heroes die. So if Gaming can get to that stage nicely, I think they will be okay.
And I think that both teams have drafts that could work. They're both very interesting. I think the Beastmaster coming out last is very interesting, because I feel like that hero did get a lot weaker, but there are a lot of versatile builds that he can go for in a game like this. And he benefits from brawling with heroes like Pango and Grimstroke very early on too, but there's also still the question of this Naga Siren. This Naga Siren looks so good still. So who knows what's going to happen? May the best team win.
May the best team win. My Tech Arena, if you have any energy left at the moment, this is the time to show it, because we're heading into Game 5 of this Grand Finals. Let me hear you one more time for Cap and SVG.
Are you ready for a Game 5? I know me and Avery are. This is gonna be a very fun game to cast, because on one side we have Gaming Gladiators who, they've got 6 victories in Grand Finals. They're looking for a 7th. They've been here before in Games 5s, in fact, twice so far this season, right, Avery?
Yeah, and it worked out for them in most of those situations. It's a team that, when their back's against the wall, just when you think you have them, they disappear, and they're the ones lifting that trophy. And they are, this time, the ones going for the Faceless Void in the hands of Dyrachyo, a hero that proved very successful for low earlier, whereas Azure, Outworld Devour, however you want to name this hero, he is a bold pick in any meta, as it is not a hero that has been super successful outside of the hands of very specific players like Somnus the TI, or some of the old D players of old, but XM is going to try his hands on it here. And this is, it's like a draft where if you fall behind, this Beastmaster is just going to run you down because the thing you have in spades on this Azure Ray lineup is save. All 5 of these heroes have a save mechanism. You have Phoenix Sunray plus an Ag's Egg, you have Shattered Demon Disruption, you have Stampede, you have OD Astral, and you have Naga Song. All 5 of these heroes can, in theory, bail out somebody else, but a lot of times that's where heroes like Beastmaster shine because, okay, you can displace a Roar, but the hero just keeps running at you. And this is a beast that's designed to probably get the drum going with that Ags, just push you down, perhaps with Helm, the Dominator. We'll see what Ace opts for here, but if he gets to both, he's just going to be a menace, right? Because, okay, you save somebody, they come out of the save, the beast is still there with his aura, still right-clicking you, still dealing the damage. That's why I think this pick really thrives for Gaimin on this last slot. And of course, they can up the tempo. This lineup could be another lineup that's slow for Azure Ray, though we did see them play pretty well around the Phoenix Shadow Demon earlier, so in their comfort.
Jin Q gonna be slowed down. Blood Grenade, the first one coming out, but not enough to get the kill. So a little bit of resources lost, and Azure Ray managed to get 3 bounty roots in that trade-off, though a ward was found by Gaming Gladiators, so it feels...
He can't TP.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he can kill it, though. This is...
Kill the sentry, then TP out.
Yeah, okay, that's a play. Would have been game-winning if he actually caught it.
Yeah.
I guess that's pretty difficult. Duraccio just playing impatient. Wise decision. And it'll put XXS in a 1v2 for the start of the lane. Not ideal, but as long as he doesn't get too much regen burned here, an okay outcome.
Gyrocopter's a great hero to take advantage of those 1v2s as well. Disruption into Stomp, though, is going to be really dangerous as he tries to get aggressive. He's going to find that Rocket Barrage. All the damage gets soaked up by the illusions. Duraccio doing a good job, though, getting in front of Jin Q and keeping up the damage. Duraccio's also taking a bit in return, though. And XXS.
Did have a salve on the Shadow Demon, so I think Azure Ray happy with that trade, particularly if XXS is the one who gets his HP non-removed, right? He just gets to bully Duraccio now. And anytime you can bully the Gyrocopter on early waves, you're happy about it.
Yeah, if you have that sort of advantage, Centaur's a great hero to take all the CS in the lane, right?
And Gyro is generally a support who kind of wants to out-trade you so that he can go in the all-in kill with the missile. If you're low, it's a lot harder to do that. Early win here for Azure Ray, and I mean, I'm particularly interested in this mid lane. I think this is a very weird matchup. I think it is a matchup that eventually goes OD's way. So I expect XM to pull ahead on these waves, particularly if you can get some of these Astrals into the range creep denies. That's what you're looking for. But level 5 is a big deal for this hero. You're either going 3 into Orb or you're going 3 into Astral, but it's one of the two. If you're going in the Astral, you need to win the lane harder. If you're going into the Orb, you just want to harass him. I think most OD players day and age are just going the 1-3-1. See what XM opts for here. His itemization also very flexible.
That was in deep from Cellar.
Yeah,
how did he get caught underneath the tower like that? That's going to be your first blood for XXS.
Rare misstep from him. I feel like he's an incredibly stable laner.
And Tianming, who was getting outplayed by Tofu in the previous lanes, is once again attempting a kill, but he will not be diving into the tower this time.
So once more, this Shadow Demon Phoenix support duo that we've seen out of Azure Ray that I feel like is a little slow on paper. It doesn't look slow at all in their hands. They're the ones bullying supports out of the waves. And on this safe lane, it's really valuable because you're playing with a Naga. So
perfect. Tianming comes
Naga
in.
You're happy.
It's a big win for him if he could take away that sentry, but Tofu does manage to get it in time. They replace the sentry, though. They really want to make sure they don't give control of the creep equilibrium over to Gaming Gladiators.
So far, this has been Azure Ray's best start to a laning phase. Honestly, they are doing very well right here on the CS board and net worth chart. The supports are pulling out the supports. The biggest thing about this, though, is going to be how much gold does Ace get in like the first 15 minutes of this game, right? Because you have to start thinking they're going to stack these Ancients for him. In fact, Ace does it for himself a lot of times on this hero, and he's already got an Ancient stack up off the board. He's got another large camp stack already brewing. This is where the Beastmaster is going to accelerate. So if your lanes go well, you can invade that jungle area potentially. Maybe steal some of it with like the Naga Phoenix if you're having a really good game here. I doubt that's going to be on the table, but it's something you want to think about here in terms of potentially blocking those camps up.
One thing that's going to be very different about this game is we talked about in Game 3 and Game 4, Azure Ray playing around XM quite a bit. And he was playing those very mobile heroes that could set up kills. OD is not quite the same archetype.
No. It's a lot slower hero. You're generally only going to get kills when Sandy's Eclipse is up. And Sandy's Eclipse is okay for ganking and killing in the early game. it's not the powerhouse spell it used to be in terms of late game, right? It just doesn't deal nearly the same amount of damage. You have like a mana allergy thing that's kind of cool, but honestly, it's not that impactful. They picked this hero for the Astrals, and they picked him for the save, enabling the other cores. And it's like a pick-off hero in terms of Naga pushing the lanes in. Maybe he can set some stuff up and burst a hero, and then you push more lanes in, right? So the Naga can enable the OD slow tempo here. You just can't get run over. And that is where I go back to the Beastmaster. If the Beastmaster can set that tempo in this game against these slower cores, Ace is just going to have a free-for-all, right? Because the second your Eclipse is down, the second your Egg is down, are you taking the fights into the Beast with all his summons if he's having a great game? Probably not.
Lots of stacks going on.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a huge triangle for game, and if they can secure it as the game progresses. But meanwhile, lanes still going pretty solid for Azure, particularly XXS, who has a very early helm and is getting aggressive.
And in with the stomp again, a second double edge coming out, but Celery did have the regen. Actually, too many stacks there, the poison. And Duracio's not really going to be able to commit to this.
Yeah, he's not winning the trade. One and Lotus up for Jin Q. He's just baiting out the trade, and another win for Azure on this offlane. XXS is going to be very fat in this early game. The stacks are going to have to make a comeback for Ace, but this Centaur is just going to get what looks like another fast Veil into Shiva's Blink build, right? Like, what's stopping you here? The attack speed is great this game.
Yep. Bottle refill, though, so Celery's death isn't the worst, and I'm sure he'll probably stick around for that power rune that's coming up. Ace looks like he was trying to hunt down the Phoenix. Not good enough, though.
And we are seeing Celery make that rotation in the mid, set the wards up for the later
actually
fight.
Going for the kill here.
This is aggressive.
The illusions get cleared out pretty quickly, but the Fire Spirits are landing for now.
Either way, one more, he
do
kills
a lot
him.
of damage back. Oh, the got him! Landed. Jamin gets it. He's
What
getting
a
hit by
boss.
the axis, but he's going for the kill.
He wants
and
both.
as well, he landed both the shots required to get the double kill.
Xiaoming, you monster. When you need supports to show up, Game 5 of a Grand Final is not a bad time to do it.
Oh yeah, I love the ego coming in. He knows he just outplayed the hell out of Gaming Gladiators. And Quinn now on the run here. A little bit awkward for him. Places the ward in order to get
There's
the
a Sanity's
imprisonment.
here.
He's got a swashbuckle.
Oh, missed.
Oh,
What?
swing and a miss there from XM. May still have a chance, but he actually gets juked.
That, I think, is an almost guaranteed kill if he lands it. Maybe not, but Quinn's not level 6, so you would have had to deal with the mana allergy there off the swashbuckle. It was going to be close, but that's a tough miss. You really want to make that spell count like the first 20 minutes.
Especially since you used a ward for it. Now, it looks like they may get a kill for it still. No, Celery had some, plenty of stick charges.
Still, I think Azure are okay trading this out because you ideally want the Pango getting the better exchange in these types of skirmishes, right? That's where you can abuse the OD early. He's a bit of a slower hero, so you're going even with an Outworld Devour. Probably okay. I keep saying Devour. It is Destroyer now, but
True.
That's not my fault that Valve changed his name 8 times.
And he hasn't been a terribly meta hero for most patches. Hadn't seen him too much in the previous ones. But he's back here.
Veil done for XXS. So the early acceleration into that fighting item is going to put some extra pressure on Duraccio, maybe afraid of some ganks. As the supports are continuing to play around mid, that has been their MO. Ace going for the stacks. And it'll be low going through the gate with Naga here looking for the kill on Duraccio.
XM is low, and the supports are coming through. Both cores are getting ganked right now. Duraccio, he's going to make a run for it, but the Stampede is going to be catching up to him. The Stampede also bailing out the OD, so it serves a double purpose that works out beautifully for Azure.
They get both sides of the exchange there. Save their mid, gank the enemy carry. XM is just taunting his way up and down this mid lane. As there's not enough lockdown to find him, that's a Rolling Thunder on cooldown.
And they're still looking for this kill, but the thing is, Azure, they've been cleared up. Now their supports can rotate back into mid.
8-minute rune. You know they want to take it away from the Pango. Possible they lose the 50-50, but might get a Celery kill in return.
Yeah, Celery, he's being slowed. Disruption into imprisonment, into more and more poisons. He's okay, Ming.
Yeah, he's feeling himself. A lot of long-range damage that can come out from these supports. And once again, another Rolling Thunder for Quinn that doesn't yield anything on these mid-exchanges, so it's just going back to Ace farming up these Ancients. Gonna try and get a very fast Beastmaster Ags, but he is getting outpaced by XXS right now. As he takes a tower, he is farming camps, he's cutting waves. This Centaur is gonna be absolutely massive in this game. And then it begs the question of, can Ace run into the Centaur even if he gets a lot of acceleration here?
Got the roar, that allowed the silence to last through, and they get the last hit on Tofu.
Nice
for
pick
that
up.
kill.
Really important for the support levels here. Tofu needs the extra points. Grimstroke is not a hero you want to fall behind on. as all of his spells are very valuable. Wouldn't be surprised to see him leech some of this Ancient XP, honestly. So far, tempo has been stifled here for gaming. They're going to once more have to play from behind as a 3K gold lead at 10 minutes for Azure. Do not think many people would have bet on this team winning laning phases.
They're just not letting XM alone. Celery doesn't even care if you know. Secure bounty rune for Quinn. And there is one thing about this, I mean, stacking up all those Ancients, there's no real fear of Azure Ray's lineup getting in there and stealing those stacks.
That's why I said if they could have blocked it, it would have been nice, but that's really the only counterplay you had.
Yeah.
And you know gaming, we're going to prioritize freeing that up. They just need the items as fast as possible on Ace, what their lineup functions around. It'll be Witchblade for XM. And a classic OD item.
Yeah,
Curious if he goes Paraswell on this hero, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think a great hero for it.
I think you do at some point, right? Like, I feel like if you're going Witchblade, you eventually go that. It just makes sense.
Yep.
Could be an interesting new way to develop the hero.
Disruption means that Celery is going to be stalled up long enough for XM. Oh, he actually turns around, goes for Quinn
they want
instead.
the bigger prize.
He's going to let the stomp land. Do they have the damage to burst him down? Quinn's going to try and get up that Rolling Thunder, and he does manage to do so. Gets in, gets an Arcane Rune too, so that is great for him.
Solid turnaround for Quinn. Though another Rolling Thunder that's not used aggressively. A little sad, but Arcane Rune will make up for it. And we're seeing a little, you know, until you have max orb points on OD, he's not doing that much burst damage. That's what the hero plays.
They smoke up, and they're going for the stack right now, the Ancient stack. They see this, and they see XXS farming away.
Celery was scouting out on the backside.
He does have Stampede, though. XXS, he can easily get himself to safety, but he instead takes the rocket. He's going to get chain stunned up a little bit. The Stampede goes down. He makes a break for it. The ghost, it's a close call, but he doesn't even finish him off with those swashbuckle.
Off the mark.
He barely clips him, doesn't quite finish him off the kill.
And that'll finish up his blink. Costly kill to miss here. He was going to stomp him and go back in if that ghost did not land.
Yeah, look how much Gaming Gladiators committing here to try and take away this Ancient stack. They really wanted to pick off into guaranteed control here.
A slow steal. I mean, there's no Beastmaster here. Yeah, this is tough. I mean, unless you want to just fight with the Chrono, but it's a Glove of Haste. Faceless Void in the Chrono, and you don't have Gyro ulti.
Yeah, you don't have the best damage to throw into it.
No. Honestly, I think Dorachio's game, it's gonna be tough, right? Just so many saves. Like, you can't really Chrono anybody and have it do anything on its own. It's an okay time dilation game. But Naga is pretty debilitating for this hero as well in terms of just the man fight, so.
Yeah, fast enough Orchid pickup could destroy their lineup. Tango and Void hate that item.
He's gonna have it fast because Low has had an absolutely free game here. So this is gonna go into the mid game 5-on-5s. It's kind of gonna be Ace versus XXS in terms of these offlaners dictating the course of battle.
Another win for Gaming Gladiators in the Rune Luck. They get an amplified damage rune for Quinn.
It's a nice one, though he's still trying to finish Diffusal right.
Yeah.
This is probably the slowest Pango game we've seen. Just didn't find the connections on the Rolling Thunder, and this Diffusal gets delayed, and it lowers his damage output significantly. I mean, this is what the hero's about. It's about Diffusal. I mean, I think in that first Pango game that we saw, he was 7K net worth at 14 minutes, right? He was where Low is right now, so it's a big exchange in terms of tempo. Give it some time. See what Azure Ray decide to do with that time is they're going to 3-man smoke, 2 cores, Witchblade done for the OD, and Blink for XXS online, so they have the initiation, they have some damage. Are they bold enough to just go into Triangle? You have to know this is where Ace is, right? Where else is Beastmaster going to be on the map? It's one of the 2 Ancient camps. Yeah, they may willing to take that fight.
They went to the lane instead, and as a result, the smoke is going to crash into Celery instead of allowing them to get up into that triangle area and catch Ace out.
So that's a tank right there. He is purposely screening Ace from the smoke, trying to get this Ags done. He is 50 gold off. Then you can start to take those 5-on-5s. This would be a nice tower to get down for Azure as well. Open up those Ancients. Make Ace's life a little bit harder.
Yeah.
East does not like losing this tier 1 before he takes yours. And you look at the towers right now for Azure 2 of them are full. Like, they can easily fight around these tier 1s if they want to because they're just so damn high HP.
Yeah, Gaming Gladiators, usually it's their MO to take towers before 10 minutes. In fact, they're the team who's taken the most towers at this tournament. way ahead of anybody else, but here they've been stifled a bit. Haven't been able to take any tier 1s, and it's Azure who've gotten 2. And all that space, not only is it bad for Beastmaster, right, but it's great for Naga Siren.
Oh, yeah.
Push the lane in deeper and deeper with those illusions.
And Lowe's still playing up here because they know they can take the fight around this tier 1. They have so much counter initiation. This is the test for Ace. Like, you just try and push these tier 1s straight up. You feel that strong on Beastmaster with this Ags right now. Diffusal coming out for the Pangolier, so these are your 2 best early game fighting items. Like, you want to get the fights out of this. If you're not strong enough now, it just feels awful, right? Yep. So you're gonna have to force it at some point. Azure Ray can take that fight if they want to. They have all their ults up.
Got a pretty potent combination in the Song of Siren into Stomp plus Supernova. There's like a lot of setup abilities that Azure Ray can benefit from. But that would also put those abilities on cooldown, put them in a team fight that they may not win. They're going to take the safer route here. And it seems like they're just going to get more efficiency on the map. They're back up to a 3K net worth lead.
His push is not that fast. There's Naga Illusion stalling it up a bit, wasting some spells, wasting some time. Tower has taken a while to bulldoze down. And like you said, they're just farming the whole map, right? JinQ pushing in bottom, XXS farming enemy jungle right now. He is closing in on a Shivas, by the way. And XM gets to clear through the Ancients because they don't have an Ancient dependent carry. So very efficient on the map right now from Azure Ray as Gaming are just going to 5-man, and this tower's still not taking damage.
Yeah, Tianming managed to finish off that wave pretty easily, got Gaming Gladiators to try and go on him. Now Ace is like, okay, we've got a Siege Wagon. This is a must-take right here, right now. Can't let them delay this any longer. But boy, Azure Ray got a lot of space on the map. Look how spread they are around the map. Everybody's farming something.
Yeah, it made him work for it. It'll be Shivas for Ace. No surprise there. This is just the go-to item at this point. And should be pretty damn nice on him, right? Shiva's Ags, you get the extra spell amp from this. Suddenly this drum and the axes are doing a lot more work. It's got to be a really nice timing for him as he's still having a very smooth game here. And he's looking for the backstab in the tier 1, so Gaming deciding now's the time to just start bulldozing his towers. Can't blame him. Try and free up the space for Dyrachyo versus Low in this carry-on-carry space battle.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
This is also the part in the game where OD can feel a bit awkward because he doesn't have the mobility item. He doesn't have the BKB.
Dyrachyo's going for it, but look at JinQ. He made this read. He's going to bait it out and then Disruption Purge onto Dyrachyo. Now he's in trouble. He has to use the Time Walk to get up to the high ground, but Tianming is going to pursue. XXS is right there. Quinn, he needs to be able to stop this damage, but it doesn't come quick enough. Dyrachyo gets bursted down, and Quinn will do what he can, but the Supernova is there to be able to cover him. XXS is not going down easy.
He's holding Song on Lu, too. He's thinking about the catch.
Ace, he still feels strong, still wants to take this fight, charges forward, but instead, Disruption, they're going to try and burst him down the Sunray. Is it going to be enough? The mana energy, they got him! They even managed to save the Centaur, who honestly was pretty safe, but the imprisonment just to make sure. And look at that cleanup.
Oh man, Gaming are in trouble now. This is game 5. The pressure's on. You're making a forced chrono play. I mean, again, you're playing into a 5-save lineup. You just don't see enough heroes on the map. He had the ward bottom, so I guess he saw some, but JinQ is just ready for it. And that's all she wrote, right? Now you're in cleanup mode. There's not enough damage in the tank here because Ace has to run to this fight. The fight was not around the Beastmaster. It was around this Chronosphere. That is not what you want right now. And all of these ults got some decent value out for Azure Ray. Protect the Centaur at multiple points. Stall up the Beastmaster here with a nice disruption. You get the aura on the backside. Allows a second stomp to come through. And that Eclipse Sunray just, it's devastating, right? Yeah. I don't think Ace got to right-click anything in this entire fight. That's your Ags reveal in a sense, right? I can sense the frustration. It's like, guys, we need to play around me.
It is a rough turnaround in this series, particularly for Dyrachyo, who came into this saying, this is going to be an easy 3-0. Well, here they are, now in a game 5, down 7,000 net worth.
Easy reverse sweep, perhaps, as Azure Ray have swung all the momentum in this series, taken the wind out of their sails. And like you said, they are at a significant deficit right now, facing a scary scaling lineup with a Naga Siren that can cut the waves, stall the map.
Yeah, you might feel good about the fact you've got a Faceless Void going late, but the Naga Siren is just such a good counter.
But that's the thing, do you? That was the upside of all of these later picks for Azure Ray. You have so many saves for the Chronosphere.
Yeah.
It is not a straightforward Faceless Void game at all.
You're going to get controlled by nets. You're going to get countered on the chronosphere every which way. Disruption, song, imprisonment. Hell, even just like Sunray is massive.
And that's a fight where Azure got to use their ults, and they didn't get punished for it. They got to farm the map. Shifts the onus back onto Gaimin here to make something happen and clean up space. Once again, these Naga illusions have just been scouting things, making it really annoying to make the moves.
And these Naga illusions are like you say, they're giving vision and such, but they're about to become a real threat with the Orchid complete. Now Low can actually start getting involved in some of these fights.
Every pair of illusions you see is potentially a threat.
Yeah.
Is under attack.
You could see Gaming Gladiators playing more and more scared.
They're just waiting for the Shivas on Ace. That's it. I mean, all your cards on this man right here. Have to be a crazy team fight from him in terms of the damage impact. Because I don't see the Pangolier Void cleaning it up at this point in time. The upside is the objective taking for Azure Ray is absolutely terrible, right?
True, yeah.
So, like, you're not too worried about getting your towers or Roshan bulldozed down. You have some time in that sense to set up the proper fight, maybe get a good rune to do it. Haste for Quinn will definitely help.
Good positioning by Low. Deep onto the enemy side of the map where he can cut waves.
Yeah, it's just the Naga Dream.
He can clean up both mid and bottom while hitting neutrals.
Every time Gaimin have to come back to clean these up, it's a move that they can't make. That's the part that's so frustrating. They want to get the brawl going right now. Feels impossible. There's Blink Daggers coming out for Azure Ray too. There's a Blink on Jin Q, so he's kind of hard to catch. The Blink on the OD, he can Astral Blink out, Blink on Centaur. A lot of these heroes can get disrupted or Astral and just blink away.
Look at him. He's breaking the smoke and blinking away.
What do you do versus this, right? Your catch is pretty damn limited. It's Ace walking in and roaring somebody. That's your catch. Spell is not that large cast range-wise. Feels like you need some more jump here. Blink Dagger, Shadow Blade, I don't know, something to find something on this map. Right now, Azure Ray are just out farming you. And it seems like they're happy scaling here.
Art up next for Low. Gaming Gladiators, they got to get something soon. Looks like they're going to set up around Roshan, but Azure Ray, they may have an idea of this is going on. They're going to get a 4-man smoke and start making their way for the contest.
They have level 2 egg. Something to keep in mind here. If John Ming can get in there deep, there's not a lot of heroes that are happy manning up for it into the Shiva, Stomp Centaur, into the sleep that can save it. Deadly spell right now. You don't have debuff immunity.
Scary.
Yeah, this is a bold play, but it could backfire really hard versus the AoE from Azure Ray.
Duraccio placed up on the high ground. He sees this coming. Time dilation, time walk down. Gaming Gladiators won't be caught by surprise inside the pit, but they are on the low ground, and Tofu is going to be found. They spotted him, and they do manage to get him with the Centaur. See if they can burst him down. They have the Supernova on
bail out.
Song going out at the same time.
This is awful for Azure Ray. They wasted egg. They wasted Song.
A lot of abilities thrown around to very little effect, and now Gaming Gladiators, they see their opportunity to turn this pace around. They go straight for Low. A disruption only buys them a little bit of time. He's going to come back into hell and get bursted down. Down he gets sent. Duraccio looks for more. An imprisonment to be able to buy Jin Q a bit of time. Maybe he can blink away. Flat cannon shots, stalling him up even more.
He has another blink at 4, but I don't think it's going to be up in time.
On the way, time dilation, he'll catch him.
Huge team fight for Gaming. This is what they needed to get back in this game. Some uncoordinated ultimates out from Azure Ray, and Egg that's in an awkward position because they just didn't know where the heroes were. I thought this was just going to be illusions going in scouting. XXS committed, thinks he's tanky enough to survive the burst, but you are not, as that Rolling Thunder cleans you up even into the Song, and that forces an awkward set of spells out between the Song and the Egg, right? Yeah. All of a sudden, Ace just has a free fight, and this fight's over at this point. It's cleanup time, as saves don't do anything for you when you have lost the initiative. Aegis on the Pangolier. Huge amount of gold going into Ace's pockets. Absolutely massive turnaround, almost 6K off that single team fight that could have gone horribly wrong when you jam yourself in the corner like that. There's a lot of AoE ults, but they made it work.
This is why this team is so tough to be able to bring down in best of 5s. You always find a way to be able to make some decent team fights work for them. They had the correct read on how to make that one. Azure Ray, they're gonna have to do a little bit better. They had that network lead. Now they're going for Quinn, but the Orchid, oh, just like half a second too late. So close to getting that pick off. Could have taken away that Aegis, taken away that advantage.
Now that 5-on-5 for Azure doesn't seem as confident as before, right? You injected a lot of gold in these gaming cores. And it's going to be low going back for an Eternal Shroud. Interesting idea. I thought it would have just been art or, you know, more scaling damage. This is an item that got changed a lot in the patch. It's very good versus magical burst damage. In theory, can help him fight the Beastmaster here, deal with some of the Pango and Grim spells coming out in the middle of the fight. But it is a weird item on this hero. Not one I've seen a lot. We'll see if he can make it work. I mean, if it keeps him alive, that's great, but it does not deal any damage here, right?
No.
And the question is, how are you killing Ace if he gets to this BKB? And that fight might have just gotten him there. He's going to be close to having it for the next fight.
I thought surely, like, art straight into Bloodthorn, all of a sudden your damage is intense low.
BKB Butterfly, some route like this.
They have the scan on him. They know he's here. They see his illusions popping out. They're going to try and chase him down. Although now he knows he's being hunted as well. Looks like he's going to be okay, though. Chased after the wrong illusion here.
Right now, it's Azure trying to restabilize this game and catch up to their next set of items. Ags and BKB for XM is something that's going to change the team fight a lot. It's going to let the OD go and actually get damage out, save people more reliably. It's a big shift, as well as the heart on XXS. Just up the HP levels to where the spell damage coming out from gaming isn't enough to put them over the threshold. In fact, it's an Eternal Shroud for him, too. So Azure just identifying that gaming pretty dependent on the spell damage right now. They're trying to mitigate it as much as possible.
Also help them a little bit with the mana burn that's coming out from this Pango. Azure taking 2 lanes at once here. Some advantage that they kind of will always have, while Gaming Gladiators have to make more of a 5-man commitment to take a tier 2, but they'll get it. And how far do they go, though?
Getting some utility on their supports as well, which was pretty vital in a lot of their earlier wins. They have the Solar Crest, they have the mech, they have the Shard on the Grimstroke, another save that can go out to counteract a single target initiation from this Centaur. XXS's life is not that straightforward anymore. Feels like it's coming more and more down to these ult placements, right? Where does the egg go off? How many heroes are trapped in it? Who does this Eclipse hit? Dyrachyo all alone in no man's land. He wants another attempt at Jin Q. He wants revenge for the save from earlier, but that guy is
coming in. XM blinks in. A song also used, which makes things a little bit more awkward. BKB gets off from Dyrachyo. He's going to go for the TP out with the physical damage. Woo, it was close. 100 HP. Dyrachyo lives, though.
I mean, this guy's taking aggressiveness to a new level, right? That is an absolute solo play on their side of the map with 5 heroes off the map for a 2,000 HP Gossamer Cape Shadow Demon. I respect the balls on this man. He barely gets out of there with BKB intact and life intact.
That now means Chronosphere on cooldown, but it doesn't seem to be slowing down Gaming Gladiators, who, playing around Quinn, feel confident. With 45 seconds left on the Aegis, they take another tier 1, look to take another tier 2. Azure say, yeah, you can have it. We're going to take the rest of the map.
Building into their scale items, right? It's going to be the Mjolnir for Dyrachyo. The BKB is done for Ace, and that Axe for Quinn. These are big damage items coming out. A lot of you sit in the fight. You're going to start the poke here. 30 seconds still on this Aegis, but they want to take the fight anyway on the side of Azure. Feel like Dyrachyo's not here, and guess what? He isn't. So you're going to get a 5-on-4 if you really want it.
Chivas hits onto 2 with the stomp on the Beastmaster. Already down to half health, but he gets off the BKB. XXS, who's already shown he can be blown up. It looks like that's going to be what's happening unless the saves come through. 1 disruption. Now an imprisonment potentially is low. Starts chasing after the Beastmaster. Wants to finish him off. Quinn, he tries to push heroes away, but now he's going to be in trouble. The burst damage is too much for him to handle. And Dyrachyo came into this one. He doesn't have a Chronosphere. He time walks.
Trapped himself.
He's trapped in the trees. BKB, TP out, and will make it again. What a bad fight for Gaming Gladiators. Azure play it slow, and they play it patient, and Gaming Gladiators stumble right into their trap.
Beautifully kited with the saves. They make sure to not commit on the Beastmaster BKB. They bail XXS out at the right time. Another Stampede is up trying to catch Celery. They will get him. Transitioning it into more pickoffs and a damage Amp Rune. Azure strike back with a pretty nice defensive fight, all off of that top play from Dyrachyo. He's not there with the team because he doesn't have BKB, he doesn't have Chrono. But it begs the question, should you be there with the rest of Gaming in a 4v5 where the ults are up for Azure and you're missing your best control spell? Dyrachyo shows up just to leave. And it's costly. Another 7K into Azure Ray's pocket almost off that. Swings this game back once more. That'll push XM to his next item. And this is where Outworld Destroyer becomes obnoxious because he's likely going to go for the Ags. He could opt for the BKB here, but these Astrals are going to become a problem. And now he has the defensive Ags in terms of if he gets jumped. So if you go on anybody else, Astral's annoying. If you go on the OD, suddenly he has this, effective borrow time spell that goes off and gives him the shield.
Yeah, this is crazy. Somehow they have to be able to get a Chronosphere on the Naga, OD, and the Shadow Demon.
It's tough. It's very tough. That's why this game it's not easy for Dyrachyo, man. Maybe why he's trying to force these aggressive plays. Now, the one item I think is a big game changer for David is, well, they're going to clean up a shard here. Let's see what goes on. Celery, not a bad one. Decent shard.
Yeah,
they're just rushing Hex on Tofu. And I actually think this is the right play. Like, I don't think a Glimmer or any random utility item is going to change the course of the fight, right? But a Hex definitely could if you can get there. It's just going to be a while to get there. However, leading a fight off with double Soulbind and a double Hex, that's a way to play around these saves because you're going to force so many saves out initially. Suddenly you can start the Chrono Heroes afterwards. You can roar them afterwards. The more disables you get, the easier the fight's going to become. And it'll be a smoke from Gaming, but it's instantly popped by Jin Q. He blinks out.
Deja vu! Almost the exact same spot where Jin Q posts up, breaks the smoke, sees some of the aggression from Gaming Gladiators, and gets away.
This guy's just been an absolute menace on the map, man. So many of these games, it's not even the spellcasting that stands out, it's the map positioning, it's breaking the smokes, playing aggressively. He just knows his limits, he doesn't give anything up. Makes your game awful. And right now, Gaming are feeling it as it's another smoke foiled. That was the Mjolnir finish for Dyrachyo.
Yeah, with the Mjolnir finish, a gem bot and a smoke used.
They wanted to
Gaming
get some.
Gladiators really needed that to connect.
And now it's going to be a counterplay. Shadowblade done for low. He can play a lot more aggressive. On top of Bloodthorn finished, he's actually massive all of a sudden.
Ace, they're going to run right into him. Norkin immediately put to use. BKB goes out, but Quinn's already dead. One of the core's gone. They know they have to make a break for it, and the song will catch some more. Both supports are going to get caught.
Take your pick, right? They'll probably try and take both. Why not? They're going to get him here as the smoke break from Jin-Q sets up the counterplay from Azure Ray, and they find 3 off it.
The gem gets it onto the courier.
Yeah, they rescued it. Tandem support courier rescue. Not a bad way to do it. They recover some net worth, but once more, this game is starting to spiral, right? 14K gold lead. Ags done for XM. The targets you can jump are just, you're running out of them on the side of Gaming. Link's done for Ace. There's your initiation power. But you don't need the initiation anymore because the fight has come to you. Azure Ray knocking on the door.
Chronosphere only catching the Naga Siren, and the save is there. XM needed to put it to use. Dyrachyo now turns on to XXS, but it's not looking great on the damage department. Quinn, he chases after them. Rolling Thunder actually puts the roar onto the Centaur, but now here comes the Supernova. How are you walking into this one? The Beastmaster is losing health fast, and there's nobody who can bail him out. Look at XM flanking forward with the aggression. Gaming Gladiators. They have this. Here's the Beastmaster goes out. He measures a beautiful stop from XXS. A 3-man stop that allows them to be able to chase down all of Gaming Gladiators one by one. They will claim every single life. Gaming Gladiators teetering on the brink, and Azure Ray give them the little push, take Elena Barracks, and are now gonna go for the throne even. Gaming Gladiators, they don't have a way to stop this one.
There's a buyback coming up for Dyrachyo, but what does he do with it? No Chronosphere, no hope in the fight. That was a desperation Chrono. You know the saves are coming out. Azure Ray, the last Chinese hope in a season devoid of Tier 1 tournament wins, trying to claim their stake in the Twilight Hour against the behemoth that has been absolutely unstoppable by our Team Spirit.
They respect the buyback there from Dyrachyo with some of the death timers running low. They say, no need to push this anymore. They couldn't have gotten a second lane of barracks. Tier 2s were still up. Watch that fight again, though. You could see Gaming Gladiators, they really were getting nothing out of it.
It's just so stretched, right? Celery's dead. Tofu can't get in here to combo with any of the spells. Every time they throw out an ult, there's something behind it, messing with them in a 4-man eclipse off the Astral. I thought XM overextended. just kidding, I have a save of my own. There are no easy targets in this game as XSS finds them all with a stomp. And once you start getting run down, once your ultimates are out, once the Beastmaster's off the playing field, it's just cleanup duty.
Victory.
They are dealing it now. They are one more team fight away from breaking this team in a reverse sweep in the final tournament of the year. There have been very few in the history of Dota. This would be an historic one. As Ags completed for Jinkyu, he now has double cleanse, double demonic purge with break on top of it. The items are just rolling in. It's going to be aggression from here on out.
Jump in, XM, fearless in his pokes here. Dyrachyo tries to go for a punish here, has to use BKB, gets bonus
got
on
3
3.
cores.
There is the Sun Ray out though, at the same time, his damage is not looking great. Quinn, he's gonna roll in, the disables are there, but not the damage.
And time to go to sleep as Low sets it up. Can you find the stomp afterwards?
BKB immediately goes out from Ace, turns around, controls up the Phoenix. Maybe they can blow him up. The Soul Bind.
Got silence. Another save.
Goes out for a second.
He has egg.
Can he swashbuckle off the side? He gets the egg off. And now, Tango's gonna die instead. Another
him to hell.
Rips it away from you. Dyrachyo hidden in the trees, desperate to get out. XM always on the hunt. Won't be able to find his mark this time around, but the damage is already done. Azure Ray can just take this tier 2. Barracks are gonna lie completely open for the taking.
And what's left in the tank here? You don't have a buy on Ace. You do not have a buyback on Quinn. This is a 3-on-5 with no Chronosphere. Absolutely good luck. And the ults are just going to start coming back up for Azure Ray. You have another song in 25. You might not have a base by the time your heroes are back up. Azure Ray, they want everything here.
No ultimate.
Trophy.
Few buybacks. Buildings dying rapidly. Game and Gladiators, they got to put together a miracle here just to hold on.
I mean, we have seen them perform miracles, but this would be the greatest of the entire year. As Megas are down. Low still has Aegis for 2 minutes here.
And he's playing like it's
have Chrono.
Right up in their face.
Don't have time.
Soul Bind, which is good control on both the Centaur as well as the OD. But again, no real threat. XXS just shrugs off the damage.
Daring them right now. Please go on me. Try and stop this game 5 right now.
They can't do it. Stomped indeed. XXS can feel they are just moments away from being able to take this best of 5 to turn this series around.
XXS carrying them once more, pushing himself on the front line. Chrono up in 9 seconds right here. They're trying to stall for the ultimate to be back up, but again, who are you throwing it on?
Jump back
3
in.
cores last time and it didn't do anything.
Look at that damage onto the Pango. That was almost enough just to
Chrono.
force him out. They immediately have to go to the Chronosphere, but the saves once again.
Song.
The Centaur, nothing else. The song comes out as well. The Tips are mid-team fight. They know this is already done. They can sense it. The team fight's over. You can't do anything without this. Dyrachyo caught inside the Supernova. The sun will explode in his face, blinding him. Blinded to the fact the Hubris, they thought they could get this 3-0. Down 4 games against Game and Gladiators. Stomped 4 games in a row. This wasn't just a game. This wasn't just a series. This was vindication. Vindication for Azure Ray. Vindication for China.
The twilight hour here. The last game of the year it gets pushed to. And finally, this region will claim a title against an absolute dynasty of a team. There's nothing else to call it, right? When you win 6 championships in a year, you're looking for a 7th. You are up 2-0. There are very few teams that are this young into their birth that can come back from that position, do it with creative drafts, do it down in that position, make a reverse sweep, and do it in style as they are throwing out the tips during a song.
Malaysia,
they put game
make way for the new generation of Chinese talent. The one and only Azure Ray.
gentlemen, your champions of ESL 1 Kuala Lumpur, Azure! Congratulations!
A2战队让二追三，是我们这届 ESL 吉隆坡的冠军。第一个问题有请传言，前面说你肯定会选独龙的，你的独龙呢？
被ban了，被ban了。
So first question was to XM, asking him where's the Viper he promised us. Turns out it was just banned every game. Next question, we want to go to Low. I hear that you have some real hardcore fans in China who's here to support you, so to speak. Do you have any words for them? 你对你国内的那些粉丝和无论是黑粉、喷子还是真河粉，有对他们有什么要说的吗？
我根本不怕黑枣吧，感谢支持我的兄弟。
I love all my fans. I'm not afraid of anyone who flames me. I am here to prove myself, and I've proven myself to you. And finally, we're gonna go to our man Kevin here, who hasn't had a single interview. What does he love about Malaysia? What does he love about this tournament? And what does he love about all of you? Kevin, 这边这届比赛还没有采访过你，就想问你，你来到马来西亚，这次拿下了这个冠军。 你有什么支持给你所有马来西亚粉丝，给你所有国际的粉丝要跟他们说的话吗？
可能我们中国刀塔去年一整年成绩不好，但是2024年来了，我相信我们会更好的。
We might not have had a good year last year for the whole Chinese region, but this is 2024. It is our year.
Fantastic. Congratulations once again, ladies and gentlemen. China is back home. Give it up one more time for Azure!
Season, a new set of champions. Azure are your ESL 1 champions here for Kuala Lumpur 2023, and it was a reverse sweep. It's been so long since we've seen a reverse sweep, and it was quite convincing there towards the end. We're gonna talk about the whole tournament, their whole run, and we're gonna celebrate their success here on the main stage of the MyTech Arena with such a fantastic and some loud crowd. Brian, I think at the start of the day, and even at the start of the series, it felt like the crowd was really behind Gaming Gladiators. Something changed.
Yeah.
They won the hearts of the people.
Yeah, I think we were all managing our expectations a little bit. We were all like, Copium, the game series is going to be done in 3 years. It's okay. It's been happening all year. But this exceeded our expectations, and this has been one of the most exciting finals I've ever been a part of, if not the most exciting finals I've ever been a part of. This was just awesome.
That was incredible. I mean, if you told me that today we'd see a reverse sweep, I would not have believed you. I mean, watching Azure on their journey in this tournament, from looking so strong in the group stages, to the patch dropping as playoffs start, to them looking so weak after the patch drop. But then they go through lower bracket, they beat Liquid, they bring out new strategies. They show us that, no, what is boring Chinese Dota? We are not that. They innovated, they played mid bounty hunter, they brought out OD, and they just drafted their hearts out, especially in these last 3 games. That was so beautiful to watch.
I feel like there was such a big change after the first 2 games. Like, Yanming had some really hard games in the first 2, and this game gets a double kill in the lane. The way they move around Jinkyu, like breaking smokes with Naga Illus, giving himself vision, jumping out, just the way they were team fighting. I thought there was a small chance they were going to throw around that Roche. You know, they made some mistakes, but then they bring it back. You know, this game had everything. High tier play, some throws, you know, the Raju making some stuff, Azure as well. It's just a game 5 in such an important series. I don't think we could have asked for literally anything better.
God, and the saves in this draft, all 4 heroes saving each other. If somebody gets chronoed, boom, astraled, boom, disrupted. What, you go on my Phoenix? I'm gonna save him. You go on somebody else? No, Phoenix is gonna sunray into a supernova. The draft just worked together so nicely towards the end. And I mean, Gaming put up a fight. It looked like at some point the game would be a lot closer than that, but in the end, the Naga prevailed. The power of the Naga prevailed. The power of the OD prevailed.
Yeah, and the confidence of being able to just pull out in a game 5 of a grand finals with OD, Brian, a hero that hadn't seen the light of day for the longest time. It's a crowning achievement of Azure here.
Yeah, the fearlessness on a new patch. We had mentioned like a lot of these teams are a little bit too scared to try new things, and XM as a player, hats off to him.
Yeah.
Like he played really whatever the fuck, it just made it work, and I just love how he has the different play styles. He's wonky. That's something that you just don't see too often in the mid lane right now, and in a game 5, nonetheless. Damn.
Yeah, and that is the confidence like you need to bring. Yeah, you're going up against Gaming Gladiators. Who cares? You need to play the stuff you want. You need to man up. You need to clutch it up. And honestly, I wasn't sure if they could do it. But they showed us that they're an incredible team, incredible players. They can rise to the occasion, play whatever random heroes you're talking about, and just make it work.
Yeah, and initially, at the start of the series, it felt like they were in their heads a little bit. It felt like they lost confidence versus Gaming Gladiators. They were playing right into their trap. They were playing right into their 5-man ball, into their auras, and just getting out-tempoed. And it seemed like they wouldn't find a way to